All right, so we're going to take a look at one that has fuel mileage in it. And we're going to take an example with fuel mileage. And so we just say that the gas tank on Dexter's new car has a capacity of 55 liters. Okay, so that's how much you can put in there. And the owner's manual claims that the fuel efficiency on Dexter's car is 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers. This means that for every 7.6 liters of fuel, Dexter would be able to drive 100 kilometers. Or for every 100 kilometers he's driven, he would use up 7.6 liters of fuel. Now, the more fuel we use, the worse it is. We always want to use less and less, or the least amount of fuel possible. Okay, so that's something to just kind of think about when we talk about better fuel mileage or worse fuel mileage. So Dexter recently took a road trip and he kept track of the distance he drove and the amount of gas that he purchased, which is summarized in the following table. So we have 3 different fill-ups. We have what was his total distance driven. Okay, so you always start at 0, right? With total distance, you start at 0 and then you work your way up. And then how much gas was purchased at the time of these here. So we want to figure out on which leg of Dexter's trip was the fuel efficiency the best. And so we have 3 legs, the first leg, second leg, and third leg. Now, the first leg is usually really easy, and that's and so we're going to use liters per 100 kilometers. So we're going to take the number of liters. So this is the first leg, 45 liters per how many hundreds of kilometers. Now, this is where it takes a little bit to kind of rethink our mentality here. But if we want to do liters per 100 kilometers, we have to take the number of liters and divide by the number of hundreds of kilometers. And so that's just this divided by 100, so it's 5.65 hundreds of kilometers. Okay, and so when we do this, we get 45 divided by 5.65, 7.96 liters per 100 kilometers. That's how well he did on the first one there. Now, he used more fuel than it said it would, so this is worse than the manufacturer said it would be, okay, or at least on average. Now, for the second one, here's where it becomes a little bit difficult. Okay, we have the 37 liters that we did, but now we have, again, this is a total distance. So he didn't switch it back at 0. When we're told total distance, that means that we start at 0, but then we always keep on adding. So we have to subtract 565 from this one right here. 65. So in this leg, he actually drove 459 kilometers, okay, which is the same as 4.59 hundreds of kilometers. And so when we solve for that one there, we get that during this one, he did 8.28 liters per 100 kilometers. Okay, so he actually did worse. Okay, he used more fuel than the previous one, okay, per 100 kilometers. In the last one, okay, so again, this one here, 48 liters. He used more fuel in that one than any of the other ones, divided by, now here again, we've continued, so we have to subtract 1,024. So 1682 minus 1024, and this is 658 kilometers that he drove in that one, which is 6.58 hundreds of kilometers. 6.58. 7.29 liters per 100 kilometers. And so this would then be how well he did during that one. Now, if we wanted to figure out the overall, we could take the total amount of fuel purchased and the total amount of kilometers driven, and that would be his overall. But often we're just going to ask you to find what is each one of them. And so it's important to remember the subtraction here. Now, did the car achieve or exceed the manufacturer's fuel efficiency rating? Okay, yes. Okay, so yes. During leg 3, it was lower than the manufacturer claimed. Okay. Now overall, okay, it may not have been, but during that one leg there, it was. And we can actually try overall. Let's just do quickly here at the bottom. Let's try overall. So overall, he put in, let's just add them all together, 130 liters, and he drove 1,682 kilometers, so that's 16.82 hundreds. And so that would be 16.82. He ended up doing 7.73 liters per 100 kilometers over his entire trip, okay, which is slightly worse than the manufacturer said, but not terrible. It's pretty close, but it is a little bit, a little worse than expected.